What's up, fam? Welcome to Wex World. My name is Ben Wexler, and today I'm going to talk to you about 5 spiritual takeaways that I've learned from my van build. So first of all, this is, I'd say, van 2.0. I'm getting ready to gear up for the last leg of the van build, so this is going to be it. And I'll just show you what it is right now. I basically just have wood paneling everywhere. Got these recesses, got those windows, got this window, and as well as this window. And you can see I have the panel removed there. And I got a little desk in here. This is the current setup. Okay. Excuse me. So, this has been a long process for me. I first bought this van in 2021. It's taught me a lot about life. And I'm going to divulge some of that right now. What I've learned since then, as well as what's really fresh for me right now. The reason for this video is because there's spiritual lessons in anything you do. And the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. But there are certain elements that are more obvious in certain things than in other things. Like, for example, surfing versus, like, growing a plant. Right? Like, in surfing, it's all about, like, waiting for, you spend a lot of time waiting. And it's like waiting for the right wave. And when the wave comes, you got to jump on it and you got to get on it and you got to do your thing. Right? And to me, that reminds me of like women. Right? Like women aren't always around. Like women that you're attracted to aren't always around. But whenever one's there, you got to ride that wave. So step up and go make a move. Go talk to her. Right? Versus like growing a plant, that's not as relevant, but it still has tons of lessons within it. Right? So anyway, without further ado, here are some spiritual takeaways from my van build. Number 1 is do not count on anyone but yourself. This is the biggest kick in the ass because I bought this van predicated on the assumption that a friend was going to help me. I was not handy at all prior to this endeavor. And that was largely a part of why I wanted to take this. Or undertake this is because I wanted to learn how to use tools. I'm the first man in my bloodline that I know that knows how to use like actual tools. Okay? So that's a big undertaking. And with that, I thought that I was going to get a lot more support from friends along the way. I've had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 friends all say that they would help me. Actually, three solid ones. 4 was the 4th one. He was like, "Yo, I'll do what I can, but I'm not." He was actually honest about it. But the first 3 were like, "Yeah, I'm down to help you out. Like, let's do this. Like I'm ride or die. Like, let's finish this. Like, I'll help you the whole way." And the first one, he's basically the reason I bought this van. Basically, like. It doesn't matter how handy someone is. It doesn't matter how much they tell you that they're going to help you. The nature of this work is that no one wants to do it. And a lot of people that can do stuff will kind of like, it's like a way that they brag to you. Or a way that they try to get you to like them. It's like they tell you that they feed you your mind with all these possibilities. And when it comes time to actually do the work, they're nowhere to be found. They're at the beach with a girlfriend, right? Like my first friend, I'd be like, "Yo, like, I'd check up with him every like day. Yo, dude, we're on for Saturday." "Yeah, man, we're on for Saturday." "Okay, cool." Wednesday comes. "Yo, we still on for Saturday?" Yeah, dude, definitely. Saturday morning, I text him, "Yo, dude, I'm at the beach with my girlfriend." "What?" Like, and that kind of thing would happen all the time. Another friend who is even a better tradesman than him, he would set aside his Saturdays to help me, and he was infinitely busier. I have the utmost respect for this guy, except for his girlfriend would nag him, and like he would basically, I'd be waiting all weekend, or I'd be waiting all week for our Saturday, and then Saturday would come. He'd only get to spend like a couple hours with me, helping out, because his girlfriend would nag him and want to hang out, and he would cave to her. And so I do lose a little bit of respect for him because of that. Because he's not a man of his word. But it is what it is, man. The nature of this is you have to be ready to do everything yourself. But with that also comes don't, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have let my friend, the first friend ended up coming back around for one like push before Burning Man to help me get what we got done. But it wasn't after a year and a half and we had a falling out, and it was because he didn't have a job at the time, so he had a bunch of free time, and so it kind of, the stars aligned, to get everything done. But if you look like okay, for example, back here, right? Like, he put in all the screws, okay? And you can see that they're not symmetrical. I mean, kind of, but not really. And he also used these screws that I actually now have to go back, and I'm going to have to take out every single one of these screws, because while they do these screws in particular, they have like discs at the top, and they provide for maximum pressure to hold the wood in. But for me, I don't want to look at those screws. I was actually at Burning Man, and I was having a really bad trip. Like, I got back to my van the first night that I got there, and I was on a dose, and I could like hear all these little screws like talking to me, like, and they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're all over. And if it were me, I would have chosen different screws, and I would have made them perfectly symmetrical. That's not his fault, though, you see, because he has different values than I do. He chooses like performance over aesthetics. I'm a very aesthetically driven person. I'm a very like OCD person as well. And I had to come to terms with these things. And in that way, I'm grateful, because I learned this about myself. But he did it according to his values, not according to mine. And there's also something to be said. This could be a reach, but my intuition says that it's true, so I'm going to speak to it. There's also jealousy. So, like, my family, I was blessed with a little bit of extra money than most people got in their lifetimes. And that's how I was able to get this van. Okay? Sue me. I don't give a shit if you want to fucking ding me for that. I don't care. Okay? I'm at peace with it. This is who I am. He didn't come from anything like that. And I feel like he almost passively aggressively would like ding my van, or like do it under what he would do it for himself, as a way to like passively aggressively like whittle me down. So like, and that was another thing. Like, we busted ass to get this ready for Burning Man, and the morning that I left for Burning Man, I wanted to stop by and like, shake his hand and like, give me a farewell and, be, good luck on your journey. He didn't even come down from his room. So take that for what it is, but be ready to do this. You have to be ready to do all this. You need to be ready to make the cuts. You need to be ready to drill everything. You need to be ready. It's got to be on you. Okay? No one, don't trust anyone to do this for you. The second thing is you have to have a place to do this. This kind of loops into that, because the first guy and the second guy, like, they had their own little workshops, they had their own little garages, but you are at their mercy, and you can't like leave stuff there really. You need a place. You need your own place. And it actually, to get the paneling up like we did for the pre-Burning Man prep, that was the big jump that took place. Is at the time I was living in San Jose, still with my mother, and we had a garage, but it was a shared garage. I finally was like, dude, we can't use his garage, because he didn't actually fully own his garage. He was living with someone else, and it was their house. And so it was basically their garage, and so we were kind of at his mercy. So I was at my friend's mercy, and he was at his roommate's mercy. So it wasn't until I actually was like, yo, I asked my neighbor, hey, can we have this garage for a week? Like, you can park outside of it, but like I just need the garage so we can bust ass on this van. She was cool enough to say yes, but that was a huge, if it weren't for that, then the stuff that I do have right now, which still isn't that much, would not have been possible. So you have to have a place for this. Now, the way that I would have, if I had it to do all over again, I would have got a storage unit, and I would have got a unit that you can drive up to and open the door. Like it's a drive up, it's an exterior unit. I have one now. After all this time, I figured it out, and I have one now. You have to get a powered tool set. Like you can't plug in. You have to, there's no plug in a storage unit. You have to have battery, everything. Okay? So if I had it to do all over again, that's where I would have done it. And then there's a deeper spiritual truth to this as well, which is like, for me personally, what I've noticed is I work best whenever there is a designated space for one activity. Right? Like it's like working out at home. You might have a little room in your house that you might have converted into a little gym, but like it's not going to give you the same drive as like showing up to a gym. When you go to a gym, you don't have all the distractions. It's like you're at the gym for one thing and one thing only. To work out, maybe get some sauna time in, but like that's it, right? Same thing with the jiu-jitsu studio, same thing with the yoga studio. You go to if you want to do yoga, go to a yoga studio. Like I, as a yoga teacher, and you can follow my yoga channel too if you want, it's Wex Power. You're not going to get the same results doing yoga on a YouTube video in your living room. It's just not going to be the same as a super zenned out yoga studio where you're also flowing side by side with other people. They hold you accountable in a certain way. And so like another thing that I'm learning is that's largely why I installed this window here, is because I'm going to put a desk. This is just kind of like a stand-in desk. I'm going to put a desk right in front of that window, and that's going to be I'm going to kind of contradict myself a little bit, but that's going to be my music production area, and I'm going to have a permanent camera set up so I can just turn it on and go and record content, right? And it will also be a music production area as well, but that's about the furthest I'm going to push it, and that I got to make that work. If it were up to me, I'd have a corner of this van for, YouTube stuff, content stuff, and then I'd have my desk specifically for music. To me, that's what works best. And so if I could have learned that a long time ago, it would have saved me a lot of headache. The next spiritual truth, which is actually, those first two are like older truths that I've learned and I'm still suffering from the karmic loop of those truths. This one is really present to me right now. You have time. You have time. Okay? They say comparison is the thief of joy. I say it's hurry. Hurry is the thief of joy. Okay? In life, one of the biggest spiritual undertakings or spiritual truths that we can embody is to be process oriented. This is true across entrepreneurship, music, artistry, everything. Like any coach will tell you, be about the process. I don't care if it's Rick Rubin or Alex Hormozy. Like they will all say the same thing because it's a spiritual truth. That's how you know it's true, is because it's true across multiple different areas. If it's true here, it's got to be true here too. And if it's not, then it's not a universal truth. And that's how you know it is a universal truth, is because it's universal, right? Be process oriented. Whenever you are when you're hurrying, you have automatically become outcome oriented. And with hurry, when you can become outcome oriented, you're no longer process oriented. It means you are no longer enjoying the process. It means you are no longer in the present moment. It means you are in the future, and that's, you're not here right now, and you're not enjoying life. And so you're probably going to make a lot more mistakes, right? In the Marines, I believe, I'm pretty sure it's the Marines, they say slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Right? And that's kind of what you want to embody, because otherwise you're going to make a bunch of mistakes, right? A lot of the reasons that I'm suffering through, what I have currently is because I was hurried. I was like, yo, it's Burning Man. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It is what it is, though. And obviously you're going to stress. With hurry comes stress. Okay, there's a difference between moving with urgency and hurry. Right? You can do things fast and still enjoy them, but it's a little bit harder. It's a lot harder. That's an art in of itself. Slow down, take a deep breath, realize that you have time. Now you might say, well, Ben, you don't have time though. You know, no one lives forever. You only have a certain amount of hours on this planet. You don't have unlimited time. And I would say, you are absolutely right. But that is actually the reason why you should enjoy the now and not hurry. That is even more evidence to not hurry. Because you only have one van build, right? Or only one of this, right? After this one's done, I might do another one, but that'll be its own thing. Why, if you have a limited amount of time on this earth, why would you spend even 1 minute of it hurrying? Why would you spend even a minute of it stressing when you don't need to? Stress is all mental. You stress yourself out. No one stresses you out. You decide to stress yourself out. Right? So to me, it's reciprocal, and it means slow down, enjoy the process, be here and now. The last two are kind of contradictory. So number 4 is trust the natural ebbs and flows of life. There are things that you should do and will give you benefit, but if the drive isn't there, honor that. And the reason I say this, this loops into like the path reveals itself as it's walked. That's another spiritual truth. The path reveals itself as it's walked. So December, I ended up moving in with friend number 3. And he's a carpenter. He's worked the trades his whole life. And he was down to help me. But during that time, I wasn't really feeling it. And I had a garage, courtesy of him. I moved in with him, and he had a unit for a couple months, an extra room, and he was able to get me my own garage. What I instinctively did, because I had a bunch of music production equipment that I hadn't sold yet. Today, a lot of it's sold. I set up my speakers, I set up a desk, I set up my guitar amp, I turned the garage into this music production space. And that's really where I really learned lesson number 2, was that where I was kind of conflicted with lesson number 2 was that I needed to be in front of other people. The theory was if I had my own gym, and it was actually a nice gym, not some pull-up bar in a garage kind of thing, but if I had my own, Mark Wahlberg, my own Joe Rogan gym to myself, that since there aren't going to be any people in there, that they wouldn't hold me accountable and I wouldn't get the same amount of work done. That's probably true a little bit. There's definitely a little bit of truth in there, but what I've learned is that is not as heavily weighted as I thought it was, because in this garage, I got tons of music production done. I got tons of content creation done. I didn't end up posting any of it because it's so much now, and it's no longer relevant for me. And I don't want to spend so much time going back and polishing up this stuff that isn't even relevant for me, and it wasn't even that good anyway. Right? But the point is, I learned there that I needed my own space for a music production area. And that actually is what gave birth to this big window that you see here. Was also because my friend, he showed me this YouTube video of this guy who had a desk right in front of his window, basically. And if it weren't for him showing me that, and if it weren't for me actually not working on the van and doing my music thing, it would have, my design for the van would be completely different. I wanted a very basic van. When I first got this van, I just wanted it to be done so I could just go do van life. And that's what got me in a lot of this trouble. I just wanted a bed, some cabinets. At first I was just going to do a cooler, which do not do a cooler. That's a big mistake. And I just wanted the bare minimum, and I just wanted it to basically be enough for me to sleep and it to hold my stuff. And my rationale was I'd spend a lot of time at the gym, and if I wanted to do music, I'd do it at the coffee shop. Well, doing music at a coffee shop sucks. It's cool if you need a little bit of mojo to get you going, but if you're really taking your music seriously, you cannot do it in a coffee shop. People will be looking at you as you're bobbing your head, you're trying to get real into your music, and then people start to ask you and they like take you out of your flow. You need your own space. Okay? And if I didn't trust that everything was going to be okay, I didn't trust what wanted to transpire through me, that I would be in a very different situation right now. The van build has been it's now I'm going to have a desk right there. And the kitchen, that was going to be a kitchen right there. The kitchen is much smaller, and I'm actually going to the kitchen is a very like thin kitchen. It's enough for a sink, but it's going to have a big flap that opens up, and it's going to open up. The sink is going to be right about here. It's going to protrude a little bit. And then it's going to have a big flap that opens up like this. And it's going to sit level. So I'll have a sink here. And I'm going to actually have a sink with a collapsible faucet. So it's like hidden. And then I'm actually going to be able to DJ. Like right here, I'll open the door. And I can have obviously, like whenever I'm cooking, you open up the flap. You put your burner here. You know, you put your pans here, you put your cutting board here, and all that stuff. But also, it's going to double as this is going to be like a mobile DJ station. And that would have never transpired. That would have never came to me if I didn't actually stop. And I didn't rush through. So obviously, those 2 months came and gone, and I'm still kind of here. A couple other things happened. Like, I thought I was going to have more time. It's a long story. It was a shady living situation. It's over now, and I'm here. Okay. Another thing is, like, after that happened, I've had a lot of my stuff just kind of sitting in storage, waiting for me to handle business. Like, that ended in early February. It's now mid-April, late April, and I still don't have my van done, but I got into, like, I'm steady creating content right now, creating, editing, and posting content. I have Wex World. This is just my whatever I feel like talking about, and just generally life and vlog and that kind of thing. I have my men's work page, Thrive King. I have my yoga page, Wex Power, and I have my a product review channel called The Neurotic Buyer. Right? And all of that. And I also started doing like 3-hour loops of songs that I really enjoy, because I've seen a couple of those on YouTube as well. And I have that one's called Wex Loops. And I got those things going. And now, like, I've done enough legwork and I've gotten a good enough rhythm to where that's not as time consuming or as cumbersome or burdensome as it used to be. Now it's very second nature. Right? And in a way, I'm at peace now. It's not like this thing that's bothering me to like make videos. Right now, whenever I feel like I want to make a video, I can just make one, and I can edit it pretty quickly. I know where to upload it. You know, like what coffee shops and stuff have the fastest upload speed. Like it's very streamlined now. You know, and if I didn't actually stop and honor that those wanted to come out, you know, and instead I forced myself to work on this van, who knows where I'd be, right? Who knows where I'd be right now? So just trust the ebbs and flows of life. The other thing I'll say is it's really important to know that everybody is different. We have two conflicting messages in society right now. One is that you should work like 8 hours a day, every day, 9 to 5. And the other is that you should be an entrepreneur and like come up with ideas and like create new things. Well, not everyone is meant to do either one of those things. And usually the entrepreneur people are more artistic, and we're more like about following our creative urges. Some people don't have creative urges. Some people are actually, they take refuge in working a 9 to 5 and just steady. They have a steady flow of energy. I don't have that. And so what I'd say to that is learn your human design. Okay, go to myhumandesign.com or any human design website. Human design is like astrology 2.0. There's 4 major types. Generators, those are your 9 to 5s. Projectors, those are your coaches. Those are your facilitators. Those are the orchestrators. Manifestors, those are your entrepreneurs. That's what I am, which is only 8 to 10% of people. We're very rare. And then the rarest of all is reflectors, which they're only 1%. And I honestly don't really even understand them. And from what I've tried to research, like, it doesn't sound like anybody really understands them. But learn which one you are and realize that what is medicine to you is toxic to someone else. We're not all made the same. I wish I learned this in my 20s. This is true with diet. This is true. This is so true across so many different things. It's not one size fits all. And just because something's amazing for someone doesn't mean it's going to be amazing for everyone. I'll give you, this actually hurts to say, but like veganism, right? Veganism works super well for some people. Like my aunt's vegan and her health is fantastic. Okay? Other women talk about how veganism, like, they lost so much weight that they stopped having their period, they had stomach issues, they had mood swings, like, and the same is true, like, for me, when I was vegan, right, I back in 2012, now like 12 years ago, I lost so much muscle mass, even though I was going to the gym just the same amount. I remember distinctly, I'm from San Jose. I went to Marshall University in West Virginia. It's a long story. But I went away to college, and I was working out every day as I was a vegan. And I came back that Christmas, like almost a full year later, and I saw my buddy still working at the same gym that I used to work out at, Right Stuff, on Blossom Hill. It's no longer there. It's a Fitness 19 now. I saw him there. His name is Dylan. I hope he's doing well. And he goes, "Yo, you still working out?" And that was such a big blow to my ego because I'd spent all that time at the gym and I lost gains despite eating spirulina and a bunch of quote unquote high protein vegan sources. And it just it didn't work for me. Okay. And the same is true of like the 9 to 5 versus the entrepreneurial hustle. If you're a generator, I'm sorry to break it to you, but like you don't have the creative urges that manifestors do, but like take refuge in that, right? Just like I take refuge in, like, I try not to beat myself up if I'm not busting ass all day, right? Like I have energy that when it's there, it's like, it's a fire. But when it's not there, I honor that. So honor the natural ebbs and flows of your life. Especially if you're a manifestor. If you're a generator, take that with a grain of salt. If you're a generator, then your main obstacle in life is going to be making sure you love what you do and that what you're doing is fulfilling a purpose that you believe in, right? So if you are working in 9 to 5 for a company that kind of sucks and it's like doesn't fit with how your vision of the world, it's going to be in conflict with you. So what you want to do is find something that you believe in and then help that machine, be a cog in that machine and push it forward, and that'll bring peace to your life. Okay? Number 5, which is kind of conflicting in number 4, but so are like any great spiritual truths. Most of them are oxymoronic, right? Most of them are contradictory. Is face the dragon, right? This is my dragon. And right now I'm kind of at this place where my creative urges for my, music and for my content and for trading crypto. I don't know if I talked about that, but that was another one of the things that I've really gotten into the past couple of months. Actually, today I made my first ever trade and I made money on it. And it wasn't that much money, but hey, a win is a win. I basically, I don't want to get into it, but I am at this place where I have nothing left to do but face this. Okay? But facing this, I also feel really stuck, right? Like my YouTube's, despite putting effort in, it's still early in the game, but like I've been planting a lot of seeds in life and not seeing any fruit yet. And that's okay. But it's hard on myself right now to see that because I'm 35, and I forget that, like, maybe right now I don't have much, but like in a couple years, if I keep going down my path, I'm going to have a lot. And this van will be instrumental to that because this van will be it's going to help all of that. It's going to be an integral part of all that. It's not just going to be a place I lay my head. This is going to be the factory. This is going to be where a lot of my creativity happens. Virtually all of it. Like I think maybe once a week I'll go work at a coffee shop or something like that, but I plan on just being here. I plan on, once this is finished, going to Sedona and camping out and being mostly by myself and being away from everybody, but the point is like, it didn't really hit me on the head until I was forced to see it. But this is my dragon, and I have to face this dragon, because after I face this dragon, it's going to unload. This is going to be one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. You realize, like, I'm doing not just myself, I'm not just giving myself a space to call my own out of my mom's house. I'm not also just giving myself a place to pump out my art that I want to pump out, whether it be content or music. It's also, I'm doing my bloodline proud. Like, my ancestors are watching me and they're cheering me on, because I'm taking on something that is not easy. It's not easy to learn how to use tools. It's not easy to learn how to cut wood. It's not easy to learn about screws. That stuff is really intimidating. And I studied biochemistry. I minored in math, physics, and biology. And that stuff still gives me anxiety, right? But that's because this is a very big leap that I'm taking. And that kind of contradicts number 4, because, again, you don't want to rush the facing the dragon, but, like, when it's there, you got to face it. Okay? And then kind of like as a bonus, kind of like a merging of 4 and 5. This is something else too. What is medicine for you today is not going to be medicine, might not be medicine for you tomorrow. And it's also in psychedelics, they say after you get the message, hang up the phone. That means once you get your revelation, once you get your epiphany from the medicine, don't keep taking the medicine. You got your answer, right? And we say this in spiritual community, like, people love to be in ceremony all the time. They want to go to the next teacher training. They want to go to the next breathwork ceremony. They want to do the next ayahuasca. They want to do the next ecstatic dance. Like, they're always chasing the same things. But after a certain time, like, it's going to just keep telling you the same things over and over again. Which for me, that's exactly what happens. Every time I try to go back into ceremony, it just tells me, Ben, you are ready to do your own thing. And you cannot follow anybody else anymore. It's time for you to make your mark. And I keep having, so I don't go to ceremony anymore, right? But I say that because, like, I was taking refuge at this nearby kava bar. I was drinking a lot of kratom. Kratom was helping me get focused on trading. It was helping me, get energy for to pump out this content. It was helping me. It helped me list a lot of the stuff that I've since sold online. I've sold so much stuff online. I sold my speakers, I sold my amp, like, I sold tons of stuff, and it's just because that's what I wanted to do, and it was my creative urge. And I needed to be away from my mom's house, and it helped for all that stuff. And now that stuff is kind of fizzled out, and the kava bar is no longer serving me at this moment. Right? And so I got the message, I'm hanging up the phone, and now I'm spending time in my van. Because to me, like, setting up my space here in the van, instead of going to that kava bar, seeing the same people over and over again, it's like I'm confronted by the van whenever I'm here, and I'm focused on the van when I'm here. Right? And so that's another really big one. Right? After you get the message, hang up the phone. What is serving you today might not serve you tomorrow. And be ready. Like, energy is a stream, right? And sometimes it's flowing, and when it's flowing, it's easy. You know where you're going, you know what you got to do. But then when the energy fizzles out, it gets hard, because you lose clarity. And what that usually is it's time for something to change. It's because the energy has felt that there's a dam there, there's a blockage there. The energy is no longer going in that direction anymore, and you need to see that, and you need to physically take a new direction so that your energy can take a new direction. Okay? Let me know if you liked the video. I hope this really helps you out, like, for your van build and for life. Like, this is all super true, everything. Like, I wish I knew this a long time ago. Let me know. Give it a thumbs up, YouTube. Give me a like if you like the video. Comment below like which one. That comments would mean a lot to me. If you comment and let me know what is helpful to you, what resonates with you, maybe something you've experienced already that I'm just kind of like giving more weight to, or maybe something that completely blindsided you that you didn't see, that you didn't consider. Let me know, okay? And consider subscribing. I don't have that much like content up, but again, this is just my channel for me to probably lots of my band stuff will go up, and then just whatever, I guess, travel shenanigans, vlogs, and stuff like that on this channel, okay? All right, much love. Until next time, peace. And real quick, just as a testament to respecting the your natural creative urges, the ebbs and flows of life, you might have heard that cha-ching in the middle of the video. That was me. Someone bought one of my listings from eBay that I listed like 2 months ago, right? And so because I took my time and I actually said, you know what? No, I need to do this now. I'm respecting that this is what my soul is calling me to do right now, even though I should logically, I should be working on my van. I respected it spiritually. That doesn't resonate. I need to actually take time. I need to pump the brakes. I need to list everything I want to sell. And I have a whole video about this process on the Neurotic Buyer, by the way. So if you want like a guide on how to sell stuff and what to sell, go check it out. It's on the Neurotic Buyer. But yeah, like it's been 2 months and I'm still reaping the rewards from that. And if I didn't stop and do that, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be selling stuff. Like now I just get to basically sit around and wait for eBay to tell me when I sold something, and then I just package it up and send it. It doesn't take very much effort, and I get paid 30 bucks per whatever, you know what I mean? Like I just sold a pair of shorts and I'll probably collect 30 bucks off of that, you know, and that's another item that I don't have to think about anymore. So again, respect the natural, respect your creative urges as they arise, even though they might not make sense, right? Steve Jobs said you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking back. And now looking back, I can tell you that that was the right move, despite what everybody else might have said. Everybody else was kind of shaming me. All my friends were shaming me. Why aren't you working on your van? Why aren't you working on your van? You're not me. You're not me. So back up. Okay, because I know what's best for me, and I'm going to respect my spiritual desires as they arise, because what arises now is not going to be what arises tomorrow. And another thing, if I didn't respect the urge to make that YouTube video explaining my whole selling everything process, I would have never been able to link it like I did in this YouTube video, which was a super cool full circle moment for me that I just realized. Food for thought.